Howdy folks, it's Meandering Mike in the man cave of madness. It's after midnight in the middle of a windstorm. If you hear any weird noises, that just might be my roof coming off. Hopefully not, but you never know. So here we are, it's the beginning of 2023. I'm going to look back and give some thanks, and not Thanksgiving style thanks, but just generally 2022. Thank you to the community of YouTube live streamers. And yes, this is related somehow. I've become involved. You know, it started again at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. Got involved with a couple of live streams, and there's a real community there. So if you're a war gamer or a general board gamer, I'm going to mention some of these. You might be worth your time to check those out if you haven't already. Many of you on my channel have already experienced some or more of those, and there might be ones that you don't know about. I watch a lot of different YouTube channels, and I'm not going to talk about the channels that I watch that aren't doing live streams about game, but these are the ones that, you know, sort of I've noticed a sense of community. Now, and again, you might not agree with everything that every host on a live stream says. You might disagree with their politics. Some do or don't discuss religion or politics at time, or even their opinions on certain games or not the systems. But it's all good. It's all part of the discussion, right? So as gamers, you know, we agree not to war amongst ourselves personally, but only on the tabletop or on the virtual tabletop, etc. So that's one of the good parts about the community. So these are games that I received in 2022. One is a gift. One is something I purchased, and I'll explain the stories behind those. But this one here I received from Mo of Mo's Game Table. I'll zoom in here a little bit here. This is Stalingrad Inferno. It's a block game from Vento Nuovo Games. I won that on the drawing. The live stream that he participates is called Whiskey Charlie. It's on Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific time, almost every week. And I received this in a drawing. The three gentlemen that form Whiskey Charlie were each giving away games. There's Mo, Mo's Game Table. There's Nate of the Gimpy Gamer, and there's Kev of Big Board Gaming. I want to thank them for, you know, helping the community, discussing stuff, and giving away games, spreading the love. And this particular one I got from Mo. Another live streaming channel that happens to be on Tuesday that has some overlap. There is everything you wanted to know about wargaming but were afraid to ask. And Ardwulf, who I got this from, Ardwulf's Lair is his channel. He does a live stream on Monday for what's called the counter clipping stream. But he also participates on Tuesdays with a stream with Dan Pancaldi. Dan Pancaldi does a weekly show called No Enemies Here. That's not live. That's a weekly recorded show. Sometimes he does it as a premiere, in which case you can do the chat live. But that's on Tuesdays, and each of them alternates who hosts it between Ardwulf's Lair and No Money's Here channel. But it starts at 4:30, goes for an hour. So there's an overlap of a half an hour between the Whiskey Charlie folks and the everything you wanted to know about wargaming that we're trying to ask folks. So I've got an ask. Can the two of you guys get together and maybe reconcile the overlap, and one of you start a half an hour earlier or one of you start a half an hour late? That'd be cool. I know sometimes you just have to deal with what you got to deal with, and there's reasons why people have at certain times. But I would love to fully watch both channels. So before I tell you the tale behind this game here, I want to mention a few other channels or that live stream. There is the War Room that is hosted usually on ID Jester's channel, Kirk, and there's Tony's Board Life, Tony obviously, and Dean of Rough Swordsman Wargamer. Those three gentlemen form the War Room. I call them the Wargame crew. And occasionally they'll host it on the other channel, but usually it's ID Jesters. That is on Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be 4 Eastern time. That's a real good one. Right now, they are doing the 10 games that you're going to commit to for the year. So go to their Facebook group, TAC Up Wargaming, TAC space UP Up Wargaming, and you can look at the rules. They also have a Consim page out there. I never go there. So if you don't use Facebook, I don't know where to tell you to go, but you can January 14th is the deadline for picking your 10 games, and if you get them all done, you follow the rules, you can win a free game at the end of the year. So which this January 14th, they'll also be doing the giveaway from last year. So that's a lot of fun with those guys. They talk about all sorts of stuff. They've got this day in history, and they got some trivia, or what it's called, Jeopardy with Jester, ID Jester. Lots of fun content there. I started following a small channel, Christopher Prest. He started live streaming. He changed his channel name to Nanguea, which happened to be his Board Game Geek username, which he loves that name, and I don't know what it stands for, but I can tell that he loves that name. And when YouTube started allowing you to pick your own YouTube handle, boom, his channel became Nanguea. Much easier to find than Christopher Press, which is actually not that hard. My channel, I'll talk about that in a later video. I went from being Mike Anthony to Meandering Mike because no one could find Mike Anthony. Out of like 12, 20 pages of Mike Anthony's, couldn't find me. Anyway, so Christopher's channel, we usually have maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 of us. That's on Saturday mornings, 5 a.m. my time Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern time. He does that to accommodate, occasionally a person who's in like Britain or Europe, and there's a Ken 10, he's in Hong Kong, so he picked a time to try to, so if you're into Der Weltkrieg or how to craft your own counters, Chris is also working on making his own camera rig, Stuka Joe style, if any of you know Stuka Joe, but homemade camera rig, all that cool stuff. So that's some of the live streams that I've been following through the year. I just discovered a new one. It's from Not Jay. I'm not sure if the live stream has its own name or not, like Streaming with Not Jay or something, I don't know. But there's a number of gentlemen on that channel. See if I can remember all. Hissy Cat, Hex to Hex. It's Hissy Cat Studio, I believe. Wardrobe or Wardy Robe, as some people call it. He shows up sometimes, and then his friend McMurray. So there's a variety of folks on that. That's Wednesdays. I don't remember the time. But it's in the evening-ish. But you could find that. You could find the channel Not Jay, and then you could subscribe and find out those. So that's the various live streamings that I do. And I mentioned Ardwulf's Lair. He's got his counter clipping stream on Monday nights, and then there's the Tuesday other stream. So Gary is Ardwulf. I want to thank you for this. I've been looking for Richard Berg's Dynasty for like a whole year. Richard Berg died. This was published by Hollandspiele. It's out of print. They lost the rights to it. It was an on-demand, published title. So only the ones that were actually bought are out there. There's not any extra stock. Couldn't find it. Gary decided to go ahead and part with his copy. And he said, $50. And I said, no, Gary. He said, what? I said, 75. 50 is not enough. It's like, this thing is where, it's punched, it's been opened, it's out of the, that's fine. But, it's like, I appreciate his generosity, but like, no, dude, I want you deserve more. You're giving up a rare piece. And I'm almost fully done with my Richard Berg collection. There's maybe 2 or 3 out of this whole catalog of games that I don't have yet. And this is now almost completing my whole Hollandspiele. I had this gap. This is the hex number on the Hollandspiele titles. And I had like everything from number 1 through number like 66 or something. And this was the only one that I didn't have. And so thank you very much to Gary. And again, thank you to Mo of Mo's Game Table. And thank you to all of you YouTubers out there that do gaming, live streaming. It's very much appreciated. I really appreciate the community, and it helped me decide to go ahead and create my own channel. I'll talk about that more later, the history of my channel and where Meandering might came from and why. But yeah, so I want to thank all you guys, and go ahead and check out all these live streams, join these channels, support the whole hobby in general. Remember, we are a community. So I want to thank you all. This is Meandering Mike from the Man Cave of Madness. After midnight, seems like the windstorm, the middle of the windstorm has died down. We still have a roof, so take care, everybody, and ciao.